All right, welcome back. And in this video, I'm going to be going over the ways to go from a schematic to layout. And I'll be going over two different methods. One involves magic and the other involves K-layout. So without further ado, let's get started. So in this basic design example, we have an inverter here. And it's using these standard PDK devices. We have a PMOS and an NMOS right here. And we can see here that we have unusual parameters for this MOSFET. We have a 5-finger MOSFET with a width of 2 rather than 1. So I'll show you guys the first method. The first is going to be using the netlist from Xschem in Magic. So the way we do this, first thing you're going to want to do is go to Simulation and go to Set Netlist Directory. And here you'll see the directory where your Spice netlists are being saved. And just take note of that, mental note. And then go ahead and create the netlist by clicking the netlist button. And you now have generated the netlist for the schematic. Okay, now we're going to go ahead here and open up Magic. And once you have Magic open, make sure that you are using the SKY130 technology. And then go to File and Import Spice. And then once you are in here, go ahead and navigate to wherever you saved the netlist right here, and open it and navigate to the cell in the Options menu. The second option is going to be manually creating it in K-layout. And personally, I prefer this method over the magic method because the magic method simply instantiates the PDK P cells from the netlist, and it does not take into account dummy devices or any matching that you have set up, which is a very analog specific thing. But it also does not route, so all it does is create all the PDK devices, and that's about it. And this is very easy to do in K-layout anyway with the P-cell generators, and it only takes a few minutes. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to do that. Okay, so here we are in K-layout, and the first thing that I'm going to do is make sure that we have the SKY130 technology loaded. And you can make sure of that by just clicking on this arrow here and selecting the SKY130 technology, and you should be good to go. So once that's loaded in, we're going to go to File and create a new layout. Make sure that the SKY130 technology is selected, and go OK. Okay, so now we are in the layout editor of K-layout. And if you recall from our schematic, we have one PMOS and one NMOS, both with a width over length of 2 over 0.15 and both with 5 fingers. Okay, so let's get started. Make sure that you have the SKY130 P cells selected, and we're going to go ahead and drag out the PMOS first. And sometimes if it doesn't show, you have to show that device as the new top and then go back to the normal top. You should be good to go. Okay, so we now have this P cell generated in our K-layout view. And now all we have to do is double click on it to open up its properties and go to the parameters that define the instantiation of that P cell. Okay, so we know that our width was 2 and our length was 0.15 and we had 5 fingers. Okay, cool. Now we can also control the connection options of the gate. So right now we have obviously the gate connections all on the left. We can do them all on the right, or we can alternate to get a both edges as a gate connection. And we can also change the number of contacts to make it slightly wider, and so on and so forth. Using the P cells, we also have the option of whether or not we want to use a guard ring, which can play a role in some analog designs. Okay, so now say for example, this inverter is designed to operate at a high frequency, and we want a dummy device at the end, each end of the MOSFET. In this case, we would want 7 fingers. And we now have a FET like this. So we're also going to go ahead and create the NMOS. Very easiest way to do that is just copy and paste the existing PMOS and then go and change it to NMOS. And then again, make sure you have the same parameters. I think there's a glitch in the NMOS P cell generator so that it automatically forces it to use an alternate gate contact. which is fine. I don't really care. And so yeah, all right. So now you have seen two examples of how to go from schematic to layout using both Magic and K-Layout. And in the next video, I'm going to cover how to do some basic routing and cell generation in K-Layout.